Alright, guys. Well, I'm back to doing another preview game. The last time I did one with the Ducks, it was against the Stanford Cardinal. This time, the Washington Huskies versus the Oregon Ducks. Let's get this started. As you can see right by here, Oregon has lost to only just Stanford, and they are right now 4-1. When we already know the situation with Washington, they lost to Auburn, and they're really 5-1. So let's get right by here. Now, the points per game is literally the offense. The Oregon Ducks so far have the best offense in the Pac-12, and they are 45.6. They average 45.6 points per game. The Washington Huskies average 29.2. However, points allowed per game, that's where the defensive is. Washington has the dominant performance at 13.7. Oregon averages, again, for teams scoring on them, 24.4. Total yards, though. Washington, and this is on the offense, Oregon has the dominant offense. Yards passing, that's pretty. To be honest, to me, that is very close. Rushing yards, Oregon obviously dominates on this one. Yards allowed. Oregon's defense on the secondary has been the problem so far for the Oregon Ducks. 238.2. That's not really as much as like what Washington is. But however, the Oregon Ducks rush yards allowed on their D is better than the Washington Huskies somehow. And then the only way they did their best performance against running back was Bryce Love. Now, I heard he was either 80 or 90% healthy, but the Ducks still hold him under 100 yards. I think he had only 88 yards and one touchdown. But that's not that bad still. It really isn't. And Washington's average 129.8. So really, Oregon's got the better defense on getting the running back, but not the better secondary. My favorite part of comparing is obviously the players. Now, this is obviously offense. I couldn't get anyone on defense, sadly. I am so sorry. But here we go. Justin Herbert and Jake Browning. Obviously, to me, and maybe to some of you guys, the best two quarterbacks right now in the Pac-12. Jake Browning has more passing yards than Justin Herbert, but does not have enough TDs. Touchdowns, Justin Herbert dominates right now. And I believe Justin Herbert is right now leading the Pac-12 with the most touchdowns. And they both have the same exact interceptions. And now let's go to the rushing. Obviously, Washington dominates all over in the running. I mean, here's the problem for Oregon. They still have not decided who the starting running back is. They're still trying to figure it out. That's why they've been doing like 4 running backs all season, using 4 different running backs. When Washington, I believe, has been using only 2 most of the time. But most of the time, Oregon uses 4 running backs. So, but this is for the best running backs they both have. So really, Washington has the better run game over better running back. Receiving yards, not even close. I'm sorry. I mean, Mitchell may be a great wide receiver and has already won some Pac-12 Player of the Week awards at wide receiver. He's already won several. But Fuller, he's got better yards to run and has been targeted a lot. Really, a lot. Tackle for a loss. Okay, so this is where it shows all Pac-12. I basically try to get all my resources from different sports stuff. Obviously, Arizona is number 1. Oregon's at 2. And tackles for a loss allowed, by the way. And Washington's at 6. So there's that. And for a top freshman of each Pac-12 top 25 teams, Oregon's only got one, and that's their left tackle. And Washington's already got 3 other guys. So, man, wow. Third down conversions. Look at that. Look at the top 2. That is close. That is so close. But Oregon's got the slight better edge on third down conversions. Percentages. Man, that... Oh, look who's in the bottom. You kind of do deserve that, Stanford. Penalties per game. Washington has, obviously, the list. And it's not, once again, those two, so close again. Even though it's penalties per game, Washington's got less penalties. Oregon's got more. Opening opponent rushing touchdowns allowed per game. Oregon dominates, of allowing 0.8 opponents running the ball for a touchdown. Washington has allowed 1.0. So obviously Oregon, like I was mentioning earlier, has the better defense against the run. Receiving yards leader, it does show Colorado, but Fuller is number 2 when Mitchell is number 5. So this is wide receiver style. Obviously, they got the better number 1 wide receiver on their team. Offensive line: Georgia's 1, Wisconsin 2, Oregon's at 3. Now I know this is not showing Pac-12 conference. I understand that. Like I said, trying to find all the best resources I can. But Washington is ranked 9. So really, if you gotta go Pac-12 wise for the top 3 offensive linemen, it's Oregon, Washington, Washington State. So Oregon dominates the offensive line so far. Passing yards per attempt, once again, a close. I think this is, to me, somewhat close. Oregon's got 9.84 yards per game attempts. And Washington, 9.32. Like I said, pretty close. Most touchdowns passes throw 20 or more yards downfield. Justin Herbert is in there, and he's got 7. So basically, Jake Browning does not have a cannon of an arm than Justin Herbert does. Throws 20 or more yards downfield. Meaning throwing it more deep to see how far he can catch it. Jake Browning never has had the strong arm. He doesn't have an arm for even an NFL level. I don't think he has that strong of an arm. I think he mostly does is mediums and shorts. I mean, Herbert does those too, but Herbert's got the better throwing deep ball arm. Now, this is an interesting point. Now, rushing plays allowed for 30 or yards or longer, Oregon has allowed that 0 times. Washington has allowed that 2 times. So once again, like I was mentioning, the Ducks against the run is pretty dominant so far. Percentage of possessions and results in a touchdown. Washington's got 42.7 and Oregon's got 40.9. So really, at that point, I'm looking at this. I'm saying to myself, this has got to be a high-scoring game. It really has to be almost a high-scoring game. Because both offenses are showing up big, big numbers. And most interesting matchups this week, well, Oregon's Washington is literally ranked number 2. It's ranked number 2. And the Washington Huskies have a 65.2% chance. Oregon's got a 34.8% chance. Now, weather-wise, it is going to be 74 degrees on a beautiful Saturday in the beautiful area of Eugene, Oregon. And now, what do I personally think? I personally do not know who's going to win this one. The winner of this, to me, is going to the Pac-12 title. I mean, Oregon, yes, they should be undefeated, but, hey, a loss is a loss. They lost to Stanford. Oregon fans like me have to accept that, even when we don't want to. Washington, here's the thing, though. This is, and I'm not joking, literally the first time since Vernon Adams, the Washington Huskies are dealing with a all-out, starting healthy Oregon Duck team. Literally. 2 years ago, when the Huskies blow them out like 70 points to something, half of Oregon's starters were literally out. That was the most injured season the Oregon Ducks have ever had in the program. And last year, there was no Justin Herbert. Now, I think in total points, Washington has scored at least, 104 to 24 over the last 2 years. But that was not with a fully healthy Oregon Duck team at those times. Like I said, 2 years ago, that was the most injuries the program has ever had. Even for the entire season, half of their starters were out for Oregon against Washington. Oregon have their starters were out. And then you obviously got last year with Justin Herbert. Honestly, if they had Herbert, I think they would have won. And I said if they had Herbert. But Willie Taggart, when he did more in that game, Willie Taggart ran the ball more in that game than he let his backup quarterback to pass. Even though I still think he should have trusted Burmeister. Jake Browning does have experience to even make the college football playoffs. But really, this is on the line for Washington because they need all the help they can get. Washington's ranked 7. And really, Washington for the last 2 years, well, I should say last year, because last year, to me, they should have made it. But I don't know what the heck happened to them last year. I personally think they should have made the playoffs last year. I even picked them to make the playoffs, but I still think they can make it. But that same goes to Oregon, because we look at Oregon, even though they're far ranked down. I mean, look what happened to Texas. Already, Texas was like 19 down there to 9. They actually now have a shot to make it. And like I said earlier, the winner of this, to me, goes to the Pac-12 title and wins it. I don't know against who, but this is how serious this game is. For Oregon's standpoint, if they win this, they are literally back from being the Oregon Ducks with Chip Kelly and Marcus Mariota, those guys are sagas, and the 1 year with no Mariota Oregon team, and then But, and when I'm talking about that 1 year with Vernon Adams, by the way. But this matchup, really, man. And honestly, obviously, it's these two players that we would have to watch. And these are my players of the week of this game. And honestly, I love my Ducks. But I still don't trust them. I trust them against other teams. But I trust them against, once again, another top 10 team. And we already know the last time they played a top 10 team, and they blew it. Even though they shoved one, but they didn't take the knee. In big moments like this for Oregon, you cannot blow this. And this is a lot of pressure on both teams. Because, like I said earlier, I think the winner of this is going to the Pac-12 title. I don't know what to expect from Stanford later on. I think Stanford is going to end up being 8-4 or 9-3. But if Oregon, to me, wants to have a successful season, they have to beat Washington at this point. If they want to beat Stanford, I would already say it's a successful season. But I can't say it's like by the end of the year. Let's say they did beat Stanford. I would call it a successful season. But if they lose to Oregon and Stanford and finish the season 10-2, I would give them a C. Because they didn't beat the top two dogs, the two powerful Pac-12 North teams. I mean, Washington State's been good and all, but like I said earlier, the winner of this is heading to the Pac-12 title. Because, come on, let's be for real. You telling me Washington State's got a chance against Washington? When was the last time they ever beat them? Exactly. Forever. I think since like 2012. That was the last time. There's no way Washington State's got a chance. They choke it up near the end. And like I said, I don't know who's really going to win this. I don't trust Oregon's defense. But I don't trust Jake Browning for Washington. I personally don't, because he doesn't have the cannon of the arm like Justin Herbert does. It's the secondary of Oregon that would be my main concern. And honestly, if I had to say offense of Washington, it's Jake Browning. Because how much pressure do you think it would be? And how much excited would he be? Because that's one of the reasons why they lost to Auburn. The coach even said he got too excited. We needed him to calm down. And that's why he even said that. So, honestly, I don't know, but I will take the safe bet. I'm sorry, Oregon. I'm going with Washington to win this one. And yet the percentage-wise should show 65% Washington. I mean, yes, it's at Eugene. The crowd of Oregon is going to be crazy. But one team to me has the better defense, and that's what's going to win this game. I'm going to pick the Washington Huskies to win this game. And I personally do mean the score. I really think it's going to be a very, very, very close game. But a high-scoring close game like it was with the Oklahoma and Texas game. But I'm going to go with Washington to win this one 38-35. Who's going to win this one? What do you guys think? Leave your predictions in the comments down below. Hit the like button, share this with your friends. Subscribe me for more videos like this one. This is Teacher TV Tank Mode. Signing off.